Hey everyone, today we're gonna have a little bit different of a video. Today we're just gonna have a raw vlog. October is Pregnancy and Infancy Loss Awareness. October 15th is Pregnancy and Infancy Loss Remembrance Day. That's today. You will be viewing this on Thursday, October 15th. A lot of you I know have been through pregnancy or infancy loss. I myself have been a part of it, and I wanted to share my testimony. Maybe different for everyone. We all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different religions, different faiths. Here's mine. On October 19th, 2013, I lost my baby at 13 or 14 weeks, somewhere in between. I remember being numb more than anything. I also remember that I knew when I started getting the pains that weren't familiar to me, and the other things that associated with the miscarriage. I knew, and I was pretty numb. And I hide it very well. Now I realize that, back then I didn't. And I just remember going to the hospital. They called me in. They took an ultrasound, and I remember at the time asking if it was a boy or a girl. And now I know that's not important. When you're fearing for your unborn baby's life, it's not the first thing. It might not be the first thing on a lot of people's minds, but in my mind, it was the first thing that popped into my mind. Well, it wasn't the first thing, it was one of the first things that popped into my mind to ask the ultrasound nurse. And the reason why, or the ultrasound tech, and the reason why I think I asked that was because it was my coping mechanism to maybe being hopeful that baby is still alive. Baby was not alive. They couldn't find a heartbeat, there was no movement, baby was gone. So I remember going back to the room, and the doctor came in and broke the news. And I don't think I cried. I don't think I cried until they kept me overnight because it got so late. I don't think I cried until the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. My husband was asleep in the room, in the bed next to me, with a little pull-out couch thing that they have. And I think that's kind of when it hit me. And if you cry, it's okay. It's a big thing. And my attitude, for the most part, to try to keep me grounded and keep me just sane from just losing my mind, was, it is what it is, it happens, you know, and it may be true, but it still hurts. After I went home, my husband had to go on a business trip almost immediately after this. Like 2 days later, he was on a plane to some place in the world, I forget where it was. My grandmother came up and she helped me with the kids, my girls, and this was the third pregnancy I had 2 pregnancies prior to this, and with my daughters. And one of the big things that really helped me through this, it was 3 big factors, and it was, there's a song by Ed Sheeran called Small Bump. It's off his first album. Talks about pregnancy loss, and I love Ed Sheeran. So naturally this was a song that kind of hit home. The second thing that really helped me was I started making Lego earrings. And while this is not a video to try to promote myself or my crafts, it's what got me through. And the third thing, something that I had really lost sight of over the years, I just kind of got complacent in, was my faith and my walk with God. Now, I said this before. We all come from different backgrounds, different religions, different faiths, different walks of life. This is mine. I'm a Christian. Jesus Christ is my go-to. He has pulled me through so many things, died on that cross for me, gave up his life for me. I owe him my entire being. I would not be where I am without God. I would not be where I am without faith. But I got complacent. And God has a funny way of pulling us back to him. And do I think God causes bad things? There's big debate about that. I know there's nothing that happens that he doesn't allow or not allow. If you look at the book of Job, it's what it talks about. But I also believe that no matter what happens, God has a purpose for it. A couple of my favorite Bible verses. First one is Romans 8:28, and it says that God works all things for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And the second one is Jeremiah 29:11, that says, I know the plans I have for you, plans not to harm you, plans to prosper you, plans of hope and a future. These are the things that you get with a good God, which he is. And he's been certainly most good to me throughout my life. It was God's way of using something bad and saying, hey, I'm still here. Remember me? Lean on me. Come to me. I'm here. There's a movie called Heaven is for Real, and one of the big things that I was struggling with through all this was I didn't get to name my baby. And I struggled for a while until one day I saw that movie, and there's a little boy. He briefly dies, goes to heaven, and sees his sister, who he does not know he has. He comes back to life, and at some part in the movie tells his mother that he saw his sister. No, I don't think his mother knew what the baby was. Boy, girl, whatnot. But he knew, and said it was a baby sister, and that broke the mother. But when I watched that scene, I knew God was saying to me, I named this baby. I didn't have to name the baby. Knowing that God did, knowing that God knows this child's name, was enough comfort for me to overcome that and to let it go. Something else that was a really big coping mechanism for me in all this was I made a baby book, and I didn't have much. I had ultrasound pictures, and I'll show you that right now. This is the baby book I made. And I don't want to show too much detail because there's some personal things in there. But the first page, I have an ultrasound pic. The second page is a little flyer thing. I don't know, what is this? A little note. It's a note. And you get this on your pillow when you go to the gynecologist, at least mine. I hope they do this at yours, because if they don't, you're missing out. And they put a little Hershey's Kiss, and they put a little note, and it says, nobody ever likes going to the gynecologist or the dentist's office. However, we have found that everything is a bit more bearable with a good piece of chocolate at hand. Ain't the truth. Since this isn't the dentist's office, go ahead and indulge your sweet tooth on us. Sincerely, and in the medical facility. I love those little notes. It added such a little personal touch, and every time I would walk in, every time I was pregnant, so this is my third pregnancy, and I looked forward to seeing that little pink note with that little Hershey's Kiss right on top of the gurney, the Johnny that they make you put on. The next thing I have is a lanyard from an event that we did that August. And this was an event, this is an event that we would do every year with our old church back home in the Revere area. And if you don't know, Revere, Massachusetts is home of America's first public beach, Revere Beach. It's where I grew up. It's my home. And we do a mission on that beach every August. And I kept the lanyard. The next thing I have is, and here's a bunch of cards, and I hope you can see these because I'm not paying attention to the level. And then another thing I have, and the last thing I have, which I'm not going to show because it's got some personal information, are the hospital bracelets. And so it's not much in this book, but it was the little keepsakes that I had, the mementos from while I was pregnant. And so I like to look back on this book and just, it's a nice reminder of the time that I was pregnant, and how good God is, and how good He always will be. This is my journey. Whatever yours is, I hope and pray that you have a coping mechanism or many coping mechanisms. If you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to pray for you, whatever your coping mechanism can be, pray that you find it. And if you ever need anything, I'm always here. Whether I know you or not, I like to be there, just as others were there for me. Thank you for watching this vlog. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, smash that like button, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it, and leave me a comment and let me know, have you been on this journey before? And if you haven't, do you know someone who was? How did you help them? How did you cope if it was you? Or anything else that you just want to comment. I hope you have a great day and a good week, and please know that you are appreciated and loved and amazing. Thank you for being you. Never stop being you. You are special.